Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we're now very fortunate to be joined by Hippo Richard, who is with Forestier Saddles. So thanks for coming in, man.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
I'm honored.
Yeah, so full disclosure, I am lucky enough that I am actually sponsored by Forestier, and that was not by accident. I went with you guys because you're the best.
Thank you.
And I think one thing that's really important is you're the best team of people.
To me, this is definitely the main thing. I mean, to say that we have the best saddles on the market is definitely something I would like to say, but I don't think we are the only good saddles on the market.
Yeah, I'd say you're the best, but yeah, okay.
I can't say it myself, but what I think is that if we have a good team, feel that we have kind of a family around you, this is, to me, the biggest challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, for me, it's just knowing that when I need something, I've got someone I can call who's going to be attentive to what the horse needs, what I need, and all of that. So you are the leader of the team. So why don't we start with you? Just how did you, I mean, first of all, let's go back to the beginning. How did you get into horses? What have you done
So I've been
competitive-wise?
doing horses all my life, I would say. Since I'm 5-year-old, I'm on a pony, on a horse, keeping going. And then at the age of 17, I left to the UK to actually ride horses and learn English. So needs to get better still. But
It's pretty good. It's way better than my French.
That's all right then. And so, yeah, I joined a rider that is called Jody Amos. In the UK, so I've been riding 3 years over there professionally. I went up to...
As in eventing?
Eventing, yeah,
Yes,
of course, yeah.
right.
So I went up to 4-star level, but mostly doing young horses. I was lucky enough to have really good horses and a good program around me to go up the levels. And then at some point I just wanted to have other dreams, do other things. And so then I had a friend called Alexi, who is my partner in time right now to do Forestier in the US, calling me and said, we have this project to launch Forestier, to launch it back in France. Forestier is one of the oldest French saddle maker in France. He's the one who invented the monoflap saddle. He used to be the Rolls Royce.
So he's the guy that came up with the monoflap.
Exactly.
Right, that's amazing.
So the first one was called Élysée. This was the first monoflap that existed in France, in the world actually. So the story of Forestier is kind of special because the guy was helping the army after the Second World War. So he was one of the first to make saddles for the army in France.
Right.
And then as it went ongoing, he started to do sports saddles. And as marketing came up in the 1990s, he started to go a little bit down because he didn't follow that. He was a visionary guy for saddles, not so much for marketing. And so in 2016, we thought, okay, we need to get this giant and put it out there again, but modernize everything. And
so you're the first people to bring the name, to bring the brand to North America.
So luckily we had people working a little bit with Forestier already, kind of you, who were there since 3-4 years. But I would say the real launch where we have like a sales force and also people able to be experts for you guys, to follow you guys even more, it has been 10 months. It's a big launch for us. We really go out strongly, and I would say it's been 10 months,
Okay, cool. So then you move over here, you make this big launch about 10 months ago. The other thing that I knew, but I didn't really realize until we went to Kentucky for the 5-star with Zach, was the team that you have over here.
Yeah.
So who do you have?
We have many challenges. Definitely follow you guys is something special. So the team is, to me, the key. If we have the right team, we have the right energy around you guys. We know performance can be such details. And to me, to have the right environment for you guys as athletes is important. So it's a whole. It's definitely everybody that is in your barn every day. It's also having a good saddle maker following you. So we have now one guy called Matthew in Florida. We have one guy called Paul, who is up north in Ohio, Michigan. We have a lady that is wonderful in Kentucky, Tennessee. She's called Polly. And now we have 2 new guys. They are both called Guillaumes. They are 2 French guys. One in Carolina, doing North Carolina, South Carolina, and then one doing Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So in 10 months, we employed 5 people, and we plan on keeping going because we want to keep following you guys even more.
And so right now you basically have the whole East Coast covered.
The East Coast
and is the plan to keep moving across?
I would say because we try to be specialized in eventing and to really be able to be in Ocala, in Wellington, in many places, we need to keep improving in the East Coast and be really, really strong. But definitely, as soon as we find the right people, we'll go on
So
the West.
you're not going to, and I think this is important, You're not going to just grow for the sake of growing. You
No.
make sure you do it right.
Exactly. To me, the key in business is to be like 100% the leader of your market. It can be a
Right.
small market, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And to be able to do good after-sales service. I think
Yeah.
nowadays, I'm not going to name some brands out there that are able to deliver you things in 48 hours maximum.
Right.
But we are used to have such good service that to me is the challenge of the 21st century. Giving good service all the time.
Well, and absolutely. In my experience, you guys have done that. So
Hopefully.
then the next thing, and probably, to be honest, the equally important thing are actually the saddles.
Yeah, saddles. So saddles, when we restarted the brand, it was super important for us to have to keep the identity of the brand, because the brand was like the Rolls Royce of the saddles.
Yep.
So authenticity, craftsmanship, comfort, all this was the only thing I would say that Maison Forestier had in his mind at the start of the saddles. And so as much as we wanted to modernize, to be able to do more marketing, to be able to be better as far as marketing, we wanted the saddles to keep that kind of image. Okay,
Right.
so these were the challenges. And so we still work with French leather. I mean, I hope you find them beautiful.
They are
But,
beautiful saddles.
This is what we do. So we have 3 tanneries that are still all in France. So one is in the north of France, next to Strasbourg. It's doing the grain leather. One is in Bellac, in the center of France, doing the calf leather. And then we have an amazing tannery in the south of France, in a small village called Espelette. And to me, the key thing was to keep the good materials. So the saddles are still made in France, in Biarritz.
Yep.
Bidart, exactly next to Biarritz. The leather is from there. We use still beechwood trees that are made in France as well, French arsennerie. So to me, to keep the authenticity of the saddle was key.
Right.
And then it was to find the design and actually follow studies that are nowadays out there to do the perfect saddle for the horse and the rider. So if you want, we can have a look at
let's
them.
look at one, because I ride in this one cross country. This is the badminton,
Yeah,
right?
correct, the badminton.
And it's really unique looking with this here,
Yeah,
but it is. I like a true cross country saddle when
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
cross country. I mean, I show jump in this one.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful saddle. And then that's the one I do my dressage in.
Yeah.
Again, they're all just so balanced and great. But this thing, to me, is such a cool saddle.
so this one has been so well thought. So this one is the last one that we released.
Right.
To me, the main challenge of that one is to respect the 2 big positions that we can have, the 2 main ones in cross country. The first one being in a safety position when you go to a combination.
Yeah.
So when you do that in this one, you're going to kind of sit, and so your knee is going to go forward.
Yeah, and
you're
so
gonna be able,
just for the people who are on the podcast and not seeing this, this is the badminton cross country saddle we're talking about, and it is an extreme cross country saddle.
yeah,
so anyway, so
definitely.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As you said, I mean, super forward flap, flat seat, definitely a cross-country saddle. It's been kind of thought on the design on the race kind of saddles.
Yep.
You can see this shape. So there is design, but there is also this block that is kind of particular. So as I was saying, it respects 2 main positions. The first one being that when you sit, you're able to kind of secure your knee in the saddle.
Yeah, you can just lock in
You can
right
just
behind
lock
there.
it in, and you're safe. This was the first challenge, I would say. And then one that we don't think about is that cross-country, as you know, can be super long.
Yes.
And so you need to rest, especially when you're galloping. This is a moment where you're actually standing on your legs, and it can be super long. So the plan is to have a parallel block to your thigh,
Right.
so you can really rest on it. I mean, I hope that's what you feel.
Yeah, no, for
But,
sure.
when I tried it, this is what I felt. So yeah, lovely saddle for cross country. If you want safety and to be able to breathe when you're actually galloping,
Yeah.
get that one.
So, and it's an amazing saddle, and I love it. And it's amazing. Like, I can show jump in that one.
Yeah.
And it's so balanced and great. That's the. What is the name of this one again?
Soul.
Soul.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get it wrong.
That's
I was
all right.
about to call it
That's
the
all right.
Buccalo.
Yeah. So basically, all the saddles have a name of a big show.
Yes.
So in France, the only saddle, I mean, the only guy who won the Olympics in show jumping was in Seoul at the Olympics.
So it's Soul.
Exactly.
So we got it. So
Yeah.
the Soul is a great show jump saddle, but the
Yeah.
amazing thing is this saddle, the badminton, when I go cross country, I always ride 2 to 3 holes shorter than I show jump.
Yeah.
And you don't even know it. When you're in this saddle, you go 2 to 3 holes shorter and you feel like you're still the same length of stirrup there, but
Yeah.
then you stand up in your galloping position and you're just so efficient.
Yeah. To me, it's the main thing between the 3 saddles is that we are able to modify them 300%.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we can talk about the foam, but I wanted to point out quickly already the shape of the panels. It's
Yep.
such a wide gullet,
Yep.
wide panels. We have that on every single saddle. To me, it really frees the spine. Again, we're able to adapt. These saddles are fully custom. You can do anything. It's kind of the policy of the company to not have too many models, but to be able to modify them 300%. Okay? And then if we go into the materials that we use, for example, the panels, so as you're taking them in your hands, there is this big debate between wool and foam.
Yep.
I think let's dive into it.
Wool versus foam.
Exactly.
So what do you use?
So we use foam, but we use a special foam. So we thought about it, and to us, we used to work with wool in the past, but to me, in panels, the two main things you need is density and accuracy.
Right.
I would say that wool forever has been the best thing for density because it really kept on the panel in the shape of the panel. The one thing it was lacking sometimes it was accuracy. It's actually a human putting more padding into it, and so it's super hard to be accurate between the right and the left panel. The foam, contrary to that, was amazing because it was super accurate, but it would drop down on the weather with time. It was compressing.
Right.
And so we created a foam with the University of Toulouse. So that's the orange one.
Yes.
The two things about this foam is that it's as dense, it has the same property of density as the wool, and then it's accurate like foam. We can shave it by millimeters.
Well, and it's amazing to me, like you say these are both foam, but they feel completely different. So the white one is what's in other saddles.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and the saddles we had before.
And it's fine.
Squishy. You can squish
fine,
it,
but you can squish it. And you feel like you could take it and tear it in half with your hands. It's okay. But then you get into this stuff, and it's like, it's almost rubbery foam.
I know.
It's so cool. It feels like when I was a kid, we had this thing in science class where you had to put an egg in a box and drop it and have the egg not break.
Yeah.
And you feel like that would do the trick.
Exactly. So this one, we've been using it for 4 years. With some horses, it's incredible the difference that it made. So obviously we can change the panels because they are attached independently to the trees.
Yep.
Luckily, because sometimes horses change so much, put so much on muscles with that one that we have sometimes to change them, which is fine, we can. And then what I wanted to say is that not only it reduces the pressure points, but also it never drops down, and to me this is actually key.
So it doesn't break down.
Exactly, it doesn't break down. It never compresses, it always goes back to its initial form.
Right.
So when we make a saddle, we know it's going to stay this way.
Right.
To me this is key.
Well, absolutely, because then you know what you're riding with on day one is the same thing you're going to be riding with in day 800.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then I want to point out something, if you don't mind.
Yep, go for it.
Because I really want to clap the engineers that made it, because nowadays we see many monoflap saddles where the billets are attached on the flap.
Yes.
So right now they're attached on the tree. We have nylons here. The billets are going right to the tree. One at the back, one in the front.
Right.
I know we talk about materials, wool, foam. To me, the first comfort is actually stability.
Yeah.
Because of that, instead of giving stability to the flap, it's actually the tree that is going to be stable.
Sure.
So you're not going to have that saddle that moves at the back of your horse.
Well, and that's the thing I'd say when I ride in them. You put them on the horse and you sit down and you feel like you are suctioned into the saddle and the saddle is suctioned into the horse. Just one seamless thing.
It sounds silly, but to me, this is actually key.
Well, it isn't silly. That's the most important piece, right?
So yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Hippo, I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much.
It's, I think, great for everybody. We go to these horse shows and we see all the different saddle makers and you wonder, well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
And I appreciate you explaining to us what the difference is.
And really, I really want to say thank you to the guys working with us, because I know we had such fun time in Kentucky.
Yeah, it was great.
And to me, this is what it's about. It's still, as much as we do sport, the more we do it when it's fun, the more we are able to succeed.
For sure. And I tell you what, I want to be riding in Kentucky next year, like I said, but honestly, it was pretty fun just hanging out with you guys.
I don't want to ride.
Yeah, it was actually kind of fun just hanging out.
I don't want to ride anymore. No, it's good to be in the back with you guys.
Yeah, that was great. So, listen, I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you.
And we're going to be right back, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to check with our sponsors, and we'll be back.
Thank you, guys.
Since 1950, Maison Forestier has been offering its know-how to design custom-made saddles for passionate riders. In 2016, Maison Forestier took a turn and expanded into the sports world with the goal of improving the performance of the rider-horse pair. You will find a professional, reactive, and fun team to answer your needs. And this is why I have chosen Forestier for all of my saddlery needs. Feel free to contact the saddle expert in your area for more information by visiting www.forestier.com.